Oh, hey, yo, y'all. Let's do this. Hi guys, welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host, and today we just want to do some car talk, man. I just want to talk about some things while I'm driving, and this is also going to be a bit of a story time as well. Alright guys, so if you guys love this podcast show, please consider donating a cup of coffee, because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories and more topics like this to talk about. Also, guys, I do accept Bitcoin donations. I'm also on Patreon if you guys want to sponsor this podcast show. If you guys love Nikki's World so much, please hit that like, subscribe. Please give me a review, good, bad, and the ugly. And before we get this show on the road, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today. Okay, guys, I just got done with physical therapy. I'm on my way to work now, so I just want to talk about a few things. I mean, holy cow, man. Sometimes life is a pain in the ass, you know? And by the way, let me get away from this so-called Biden supporter or the illegitimate supporter. I'm just driving in front of it, and I'm like, oh my god, you know? Yeah, These people vote for this idiot. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the idiot president and the illegitimate, you know? But I wonder how they feel about paying like high taxes, you know? Yeah, I wonder, you know? So, I just want to talk about, like, what's been going on lately with me, how things been hanging and all that shit. Because, I tell you, man, lately, man, I've been feeling the shitter, man. I've been feeling the crappy, man. I've been, like this. I've been wanting to get back to do a lot of things. I've been getting back to going kayak fishing, but that's all weather dependent, because we all know in Connecticut, man, the weather can be shit sometimes, and Mother Nature could either cooperate with you or she can act like a fucking pain in the ass to you, okay? So that's one of them. And the other one is like this. I've been trying to get back into doing shibari, which is like rope kink and all that stuff. But I hadn't had the time. I hadn't had the the urge to do it, because the problem is, guys, is that I've been pretty much busy with life. I've been pretty much like trying to get things in order. And a lot of things have been stressing me out lately, so I gotta try to find the time to at least be able to calm down and be able to do things, you know?
I gotta find the time for it, But lately, I haven't been able to, I haven't been able to find the time to do things like that. And as a result, guys, it's getting harder and harder for me to do rope kink. I mean, frankly, guys, I'd love to do rope kink. I love to do self-tying and ultimately get into self-suspension. But it's getting harder and harder to do that, mainly because a couple of reasons. I don't have people that can show me how to do self-suspension. Most of my self-tying and self-suspension is being taught on, basically, books. You know what I mean? Books and video. So I ain't had a lot of time to learn it in the classroom, I mean, I'm trying to learn it. I'm trying to do it. But basically, I hadn't been able to go to a rope bite or a rope jam or go to any rope groups because I'll tell you this, guys, rope groups don't even do it for me. Many of the rope groups, treat me like if I'm a fucking nobody, So that's why I don't go to those. And as a result, I basically do things by myself, And that goes to the larger context, man. That's why when I want to do things, I tend to do 99% of the things by myself because I basically don't have anybody to do things with. And it sucks, really. It really does suck, man, because sometimes like this, I want to do things like going to nudist camps, going out, because I've bought new clothes, by the way, and I want to be able to go out, but since I don't have many friends to go out with, it's getting harder and harder, It's getting harder and harder to go out and do things. That's why, guys, I sometimes look at it like this, man. Things I want to do, if I was younger, say in my 20s and 30s, I would have a huge social network and I would have a huge amount of friends that, I'd be able to go out and do stuff with. But I'm in my mid-40s right now. I don't even have a huge social network of friends. I don't even have a community to call my own. So that's why I tend to do things by myself. I tend to do things solo. So that's why I don't get to do a whole lot. But when I do, I just find the urge to go, I say like this, fuck it. I don't have friends to do things with. I'm just going to do it by myself. So that's what tends to be around my life, in my mid-40s right now. So that's what tends to be the basis around my life, And like I said, guys, right now, I'm working a good paying job. I'm trying to save my money up to get a condo. So I'm looking at getting a condo somewhere around 2025. So that way I can get a good condo for a good deal. I mean, I want to get a place of my own, I mean, I'm home taking care of my mother because my dad died of COVID this year. So my mom's by herself. So my mom needs to have some stability in the house. I mean, granted that my mom's there, but the thing is that at what point like this am I going to have to figure, okay, this is a time where I may have to say, hey, I may have to do this, may have to do that, may have to, this and this and this. But eventually, guys, I will have to get my own place because at my mom's age right now, she's in her upper 60s, so I say 65 and over. We don't know how long she can be healthy enough to maintain the house. So eventually, at a certain age, she may have to go live in what we would call an assisted living facility. So that where at that point, we may have to like say, hey, Mom, you may have to go live in an assisted living facility. I may not be able to maintain the house, so I may have to go move to my own condo or cottage. Or I was looking at a mobile home, but I've been hearing a whole lot of cons, but not a lot of pros in it. So that is one of the things I'm looking at. One thing I'm looking at doing this year is going nude camping. So I've been trying to find the time to go to like nudist resorts, but because of all these I think like this, the lockdowns are coming out. People are getting the so-called experimental vaccine, which frankly I'm not taking that vaccine, and there's a reason why for that. It's because I have like 2 rare diseases and a very rare medical condition. So as a result, I'm not taking the vaccine. But as far as going to the nudist resorts, I am looking at going to it. I was planning on looking at going to it on the 4th of July weekend, but you know how Mother Nature is. She fucks things up, and now my weather plans got rearranged. It sucks, Sometimes I want to do things. I want to do things like go nude camping and skinny dipping on the 4th of July weekend, but Mother Nature decides to throw a curveball at me, decides to throw a monkey wrench, so she screws me over. So that's why it's like this. Things I want to do, they got put on hold, They literally do. They literally got put on hold. So that's why I'm waiting for like nicer weather. I'm hoping, and this is my hope and prayer, that the Labor Day weekend weather is great enough that I can go nude camping and skinny dipping for the Labor Day weekend. I am hoping, but let's just say it's like this. Let's hope and pray the weather cooperates. Okay? Let's hope and pray. But let's get back to the rope kink thing. The reason why I hadn't done a lot of rope stuff is because lately I've been busy. Lately I've been stressed. Lately I've been like, as they say, I've been basically having to deal with a lot of stuff going on. And here comes the trooper right behind me. I guess there's a major accident going on. I guess there is an accident. But lately, things have been very crazy going on with me. I mean, the stresses of work, let's just say the stress of work, the stress around the house, It's been tough trying to do the things I want to do. Like I want to do like a rope suspension. I want to do like self-tying. Like I've seen a lot of pictures on Instagram, FetLife and all that, where people got to rope suspend or suspend themselves by rope. I want to be able to do that this year, but I hadn't been able to find the time or the energy because lately a lot of things have been taking up my time, taking up my stress, taking up my energy. I basically have to try to make time for it, And then on top of that, I have a podcast show I run, so it's basically trying to find time for things. And if I could find a time to do things, that would be awesome. That would be so much awesome. But what would really make it better for me, guys, is if I had friends that would love to do things with me. Like, say, for example, if I want to do a rope jam or rope bite night where I just want to do like self-tying, self-suspension, like that, and have friends that love to do stuff like that, that'd be fucking awesome. That'd be so damn cool. That'd be so damn that would make me very happy, okay? That would make me very, very happy. But you know what? as a result, I just have to learn to do things for myself. I just have to find the time for myself. I just have to find the right people and the right group to go work with. If I can find the right like rope group, rope jam, and like the right connections or the right people to work with, yeah, I'd get more involved in rope kink on top of me doing my kayak fishing thing. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping and praying, So that's what I'm hoping. But like I said, man, I'm not holding out any hope. I'm not holding out any hope, but like I said, I will keep plugging along. I'll keep learning how to self-tie, self-suspend, learn new ties, build upon what I've already learned. I already know how to do like a chest harness, a hip harness, a fudo. I just got to learn how to do a mermaid tie. Once I learn how to do that, that's awesome. And then I have to learn how to do a gravity boot tie. That would cement everything, man. But so far, for me to start to go hanging, like doing self-suspension, a chest harness and a hip harness is already, and a fudo is already enough. I already got the foundations for it. It's just doing the mermaid harness, would just add more to my leverage. Okay? But other than that, man, I'm just hanging out as always, trying to survive, trying to get through this third rock from the sun, as I call it. Just trying to get through, man. I know lately nobody's ever asked me like how I'm doing after my dad passed away on February 1st. Nobody ever talked to me. Nobody ever said anything, man. Everybody was so focused on my mom, but me was like, I was like lost in the fog, That's how I felt, man. And sometimes it's like this. I get so lost in the fog, it's like everybody forgets that, hey, I'm here too. What about me? So that's why it's like this. I try to do all I can. I try to get on with my life. And I try to make sure that, hey, I'm plugging along like always, I'm trying to like get on and get moving, I'm not letting life stop me from doing shit, One thing I wish I had was like this. In my age right now, I know I'm in my 40s, my mid-40s, that wish I had friends that I can go hang out and do stuff. That would be super. I mean, yeah, I would love to have friends that I can go like nude camping with for the weekend, go to nude volleyball tournaments, which I would love to do. And I'd love to go like nude sailing too, love to do those too. But things I want to do, I never get to do them because I don't have friends that I can do things with. So it's like, it's basically a crying shame that most of my life gets ruined from not that I can't do them. It's just that I don't have friends to do things with, and I don't have people to do things with. Okay, it's because I just don't have a social network, and that's why I like this. At an age where I'm at right now, my social network gets smaller, till it's none, till it's nothing. So that's why I look at my social life and go, yeah. I see people in their 20s, 30s having the fucking time of their life, and people like me in my mid-40s, we're just like trying to live, trying to hope that we wake up the next morning. So that's what I'm hoping, and that's what I'm trying to get at here, guys, is that I'm trying to build a life for me. Build some like sense of like I have a life in the world, that I have fun, that I get to do things, that I get to do this, that I get to do that I get to like be this, you know? Because many times I don't get to do all those things. I don't get to be this, be that, do this, do that. I don't, you know? And I hardly ever. So that's why it's like this. It's kind of hard, you know? It really is. It really is kind of hard. But I'm hoping that like this, by me talking about what's going on with me and what's happening with me, I'm hoping that people can relate and understand what I'm going through, you know? And I hope everybody understands it, man. And I hope they do. I hope my listeners do, man. If you do understand it, guys, please leave a comment below, you know? Please leave a comment and feedback below. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. You know, right now I'm crossing the Connecticut River, and I tell you what, it's nice enough now that, oh fuck yes, I will take my kayak out here and go fishing. You know, I will once Mother Nature and I cooperate on good terms. You know what I mean? I mean good terms in my view, meaning that I could have nice sunny days like this without the heat and humidity. I'd be like, yeah, Mother Nature, we can go to the Connecticut River and go catching fish. We can do that, you know? But the problem is, for some reason, Mother Nature and I don't see eye to eye, and we don't cooperate on good terms, you know? We don't. So right now, I'm waiting it out until Mother Nature comes to good terms with me, and when she does, I'll be able to go like this. Hey guys, you ready to go kayak fishing? You know what I mean? Because I love to go kayak fishing. Just put on my nice swimsuit and hit the lake, you know? Hit the lake or hit the river and go, oh hell yeah, you know? So that's what I'm hoping and waiting on, and that's what I'm trying to say is like this. Let's hope we have good days where I can go kayak fishing, where I can do all this, all that, and enjoy the fun things in this world. You know? Where I can enjoy the fun. So right now, another accident. So right now it's like this. Right now I'm just heading towards work, trying to make it through this day. You know what I mean? I'm trying to make it in this job. Many times I've thought about going back to school. You know what I mean? I've seriously thought of going back to school, get my paramedic. I seriously thought about it, but then I look at my age and health, and then I sit there and I go, is it kind of worth it now to go back to school, get my paramedic? I know I have my EMT, so that's a debate between me and myself down the road. Is it worth it? Is it worth having to put up with a lot of health issues just to go back to paramedic school? Is it worth it? You know? So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at, considering, you know? So it's something to think about, and it's something that I'm looking at down the road, you know? But in any case, guys, one thing I do notice is like this. You know how social media networks also say hey, we're here to help connect you with one another. Okay, so social media networks are here to help you connect with one another. Why is it that we're dealing with so much of the idiotic spam? Why is it that we're dealing with so much idiocy? You know? Why is it that we are dealing with so much stupidity? I mean, seriously, guys, seriously. Of all the social media networks I have seen is that every one of them has become like an echo chamber among themselves. They've literally, guys, they've literally become their own, like, basically, like, town square, okay? Literally. That's why I'm not fond of social networks. That's why I'm not fond of groups. You know why I'm not fond of groups? It's because, here's the thing. They want you to think and talk a certain way. And if you don't think and talk a certain way, they don't like it. And they don't want you. So that's why I'm not fond of joining groups online. Like, say, rope groups, or let's take this one step further. Any group online. Because how can you join a group online when you're not allowed to think for yourself and think and speak freely? How can you? So if you can't speak freely and talk freely, what's the point? What's the point of having these online groups, these social groups? What's the point if you can't be able to express yourself freely? If you can't express yourself openly, how can you, you know? That's the one thing I ask myself, you know? How can you, like, be able to say to yourself, you know what I mean? How can you express things in your own way, you know? That's what I want to know. Because how can you join a group without being able to express your viewpoints, your beliefs, your opinions, without people ever having a hissy fit or having a temper tantrum over? That's why I sit there and I go like this. A lot of groups tend to be more like slanted, political, more like one-sided, where you gotta think like this, you gotta act like this, you gotta talk like this. But if you ever say anything in opposition or like say different, people come at you and go, oh, what did you say? You made this person this and this and this and this. I'm like, yeah, I'm entitled to my own opinion, but like when people want to say things a certain way, or they say things in their own way, it's like we get bitched at. So that's why I kind of sit there and I go like this. That's why I don't want to get involved with any groups like that. Even if I have this or this or this or this, and say, well, whatever. So that's why I tend not to be involved with those things. I tend to stay far, far away. I really do, man. I really do. That's why I tend to stay. That's why, as I notice this as a trend, guys, as I get older and older and older, my online groups get smaller, smaller, and smaller. They get smaller and smaller because they don't like basically acknowledge that I'm there, or even validate or see me as a person there. So they don't. So as a result, guys, I don't get with groups. I don't see them eye to eye. I literally don't. So that's why I tend not to belong to groups or organizations, because they don't see me as a person. They don't see me as an individual. Okay? They just see me as, oh, just another person. You know? That's why they never say hi to me. They never ask me, like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And I go like this. It is what it is. And then I go like this. If you guys wanted me to say more or do more, y'all should have just said hello to me or like acknowledge that I'm here. So that's why I like this, man. That's why I stay quiet. in most places. That's why I stay silent. You know? That's why I'm one of those people, guys, who don't get to do much because no one ever invites me. No one ever says, "Hey, you want to come do this with us? We're inviting you to come join us for this or this or this." Hey, would love to. Nobody, you know what I mean? I would love to do this and this and this, but nobody does. You know? And then I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this thing. Yesterday I got bitched at because I said something online about like, oh, our place doesn't do a whole lot for Pride. And then they tried to show me all the signs and all this stuff. And I said, that's not enough to me. I mean, you do it for one person, but for people like me, I felt excluded. I felt like I was excluded. You know why I don't get with the Pride stuff? It's because as an Asian American, a Laotian American, and an intersex person, they don't include us. They think we're like, oh, we're this and this, and we're not that important, that we don't matter. That's why, guys, I don't celebrate any holidays. I don't celebrate holidays that relate to my ethnicity or my medical condition. I don't. Because you know why? They don't include people like me. And if you don't include people like me, what's the point of celebrating it or acknowledging it when you don't feel included or you don't feel like, oh, that you don't belong? So ask me that. Why the hell I don't celebrate Intersex Awareness Day or Pride Month or Asian American Month? I don't, because the reason why I don't celebrate those is because none of them have ever included people like me, and people like me who are Asian American, Laotian American, and who have an intersex/DSD condition and vitiligo, we're never included. Nobody ever even approached me or asked me or said, "Hey, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that?" No one ever. So that's why people like me, we don't talk about it. We keep that firmly quiet. And that's why at my age I'm starting to notice that. Where I'm keeping things like, nah. You know? Whereas everybody else, yeah, they're out loud, proud, and all that shit. And I'm like, good for you. Good for you. But for me, I don't get to be out loud and proud about my ethnicity. Hell, there's a reason why I don't talk. I don't say anything very proud about my Asian American Laotian heritage, because many leftists today consider me to be white, because a lot of the leftists think that, oh, you're Laotian American, Asian American, that means you must be white because you must be successful. That's why I don't talk about shit like that. That's why I keep that shit to myself. I keep that shit down low. Okay? I keep that so low that the only way you'll ever get me to talk about it is some shit, if I ever did something stupid or some shit happened. Most times I just keep that so deep that I just go like this. Nah. If they're not asking me about it, it doesn't concern me. If they're not asking me, or if they didn't ask me about it, or talk to me about it, or say it, or like come up to me and say, "Hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this?" Then I'm not going to acknowledge it. And that's why when I said, "Hey, where's the Pride Month?" I don't see it. And then they got all hissy and angry, and I told them they didn't ask me about it. They didn't tell me. They didn't, they didn't make it well known. So that's why, guys, I don't acknowledge it. That's why I like this. When it comes to, like, say, Asian American Month, I don't talk about that. I keep that to myself because you know why? Even in my own Asian American community, they consider me a minority within the minority. Okay? That's how they look at that. They look at me as a minority within the minority within the minority. Think how bad that feels, you know? Think how bad that looks upon me, okay? That looks really bad when people consider you a minority within a minority. And then when you have leftists who think that, oh, just because you're Asian American, you're successful. That means you must be white. That's why a lot of leftists think I'm white because I'm successful, you know? And that's why I don't talk about my Asian American heritage, my Laotian American heritage, my intersex/DSD condition, or any other that I have to deal with. I don't talk about that. I keep that firmly quiet and to myself. If they want to ask me, so be it. So damn be it. But if they don't, I go, oh well, that's their shit, not mine. You know? That's theirs. That's theirs to deal with, and I deal with mine. You know? But in any case, right now I'm on 44, so I'm heading towards work. You know? Work's going to be another hot, crazy, hazy day. Some days, I wish I didn't have to go to work on hot days like this. You know, hot days where the temperature's reaching like close to 100 degrees. Right now in my car, it's registering 95 degrees. So I'm like, there are days that we should never go to work on days like that. That should be a real huge safety issue for that. You know? That should be. But, it is what it is. I just gotta go to work, make the money, pay the bills, go do this and this and this. Now, if people wanna say shit to me and all that, that's fine, so be it. I'll just deal with the shit, deal with the aftermath, go do other things, go to other places, go to other shits. But for now, I'm just gonna keep quiet and just mosey along with my job, my life. And that's about it. You know? I'm just gonna mosey along, get things done, and then keep going. That's all I can do. You know? Is there anything else I can do? No. So that's all I could do. You know what I mean? That's all I can do. You know? But anyway, I hope y'all like understand what I'm going through, where I'm like getting on here, because sometimes like this, yeah, it's good to talk about like what's going on in the world, like all these news articles and all that. But every now and then I just don't get the time to talk about what's going on with me. You know, I do get to talk about what's going on in other things, in other episodes, you know what I mean? Or other show topics. And yes, we do have an upcoming show topic, and it's going to be about the breaking news about Bill Cosby. His case his charges got overturned, and he's now a free man. So we are going to talk about that. We're going to dissect that court case. I am going to print out the ruling from the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. So that's going to be an interesting. We're going to dissect that. You know, I know like this, a lot of feminists will probably be up at arms. They'll probably podcast or blog and say, "Oh, this is a miscarriage of justice and shit." Well, the ruling stands, you know. So that'll be something we'll talk about in an episode. In an episode coming up this week. So that'll be a show topic. I just want to like the whole thing to settle down a little bit before I give my 2 cents and give my opinions on it. Okay? So that is a breaking news on what will be my next podcast show episode. Okay? So that is going to be one I will talk about. The other thing I want to talk about, guys, before I end this show today, because I know I'm going to get close to my Cumberland Farms, and I know I'm going to get my my cup of coffee, basically my pizza. You know what I mean? So we're gonna end it there on that. But but before we do, I just want to say this, guys. Just be you, guys. Just be yourself. Don't be like anybody else, or don't be like somebody that like a group or community says you should be. Just be an individual. I've always said this like this. I prize individuality than groupthink and group conformity. That's why I prize individualism. Because you know why, guys? I grew up in an era in the 1980s, okay, where people were who they say they were. People were who they were, you know? People didn't need social media back then, you know, to acknowledge and validate who they are. They didn't need all that back then in the 80s, okay? People were who they say they were, you know? So that's why I try to say this, guys. Just be you and don't be someone else. It's easy to be you than it is to be someone else. To be someone else, it takes a lot of hard work. It's a lot of work that not many people have the time to do, okay? So that's why I just say just be you and then let the you come out, okay? If people gravitate towards you, fine. If they don't, so fucking be it, okay? So be it. But as I say, man, just be you, and everything will be a whole lot easier. And I say this: if you could just be you in quietness, that'd be great. You know, like me, I just be me in silence, because I know like this. No one's gonna acknowledge. No one's gonna validate. No one's gonna say, "Hey, what you been up to?" and all this shit. So that's why I'm just me. I'm just like who I am. You know? I call it how I see it. I'm like, yep, this is me, and this is who I come as. You know what I mean? You can take it or leave it. And that's how I look at it, guys. Wow, dude. Sorry, guys. I got a guy who slowed his keister, and for some reason. But yeah, like I said, man, just be yourself and let everything else go through. You know? Anyway, guys, I'm getting close to my place. Well, I go to Cumberland Farms, so I'm getting close to Cumberland Farms, and I'm about to go hit the place and get my cup of coffee, pizza, probably an ice cream, because oh fuck, man, it's 94 degrees and it's fucking hot as hell. Yeah. So I'm gonna do that. But anyway, guys, thanks for listening to Nicky's World. I'm Nicky, your host. I'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.